Hey, coin lovers! Did you know your Buffalo nickel could be worth a lot more than 5 cents? In this video, we're revealing the secrets behind this legendary coin and how to spot the rare ones that could make you big money. Don't blink, you might be sitting on a goldmine. Top 1, today, we're about to explore a piece of American history that's not only fascinating but could also be worth a small fortune. Have you ever heard of the Buffalo nickel? Well, buckle up because we're diving deep into the world of the 1925 Buffalo nickel, a coin that could very well be sitting in your collection, or maybe even in your pocket right now. Let's start with a little background. The Buffalo nickel, officially known as the Indian head nickel, was first minted in 1913, and it quickly became an iconic symbol of the American West. The coin is renowned for its bold and striking design, with a Native American chief on the obverse and a majestic buffalo on the reverse. These two images not only showcase the artistic talent of the time but also reflect the spirit and pride of the American people. Now, let's zoom in on the 1925 edition. You might think, a nickel is just a nickel, right? Well, not quite. The 1925 Buffalo nickel is one of those coins that has gained tremendous attention from collectors due to its unique characteristics. It was minted during an era where the U.S. economy was going through some serious changes, and the coin itself tells a story of this pivotal time. What makes the 1925 Buffalo nickel so special, you ask? First of all, it's the rarity. The Buffalo nickel was produced in large quantities during its time, but not all coins survive in good condition. In fact, many of these nickels were heavily circulated, which means that most have worn out, making well-preserved specimens rare and highly sought after. The 1925 Buffalo nickel, in particular, has fewer surviving examples in mint or near-mint condition. So if you happen to find one, you might be looking at a piece of history, but it's not just the age and rarity that makes this coin stand out. There are certain features that add to its collector value, like minting errors. Yes, you heard that right. Buffalo nickels, especially from the 1920s, have been known to feature interesting errors that make them even more valuable. For example, some of the coins were struck off-center, which gives them a unique and collectible quality. There are also known instances where the buffalo on the reverse was struck with such force that part of the image became worn or faded, creating a distinctive, weak strike effect that collectors love. These errors aren't just common, they're extremely rare, and if you get your hands on a 1925 Buffalo nickel with one of these minting flaws, you're sitting on a treasure. Now, let's talk about the condition. This is crucial when determining the value of a coin. A coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition will always fetch a much higher price than one that has been circulated. The condition is graded using a system that ranges from poor to mint state. If you happen to have a 1925 Buffalo nickel that is in mint state 65 or better, it will likely be worth thousands of dollars more than a typical one that has seen significant circulation. That's because collectors value the rare beauty of a coin that has been preserved over the decades. But here's the big reveal, folks. Are you ready to find out just how much this coin could be worth? If you're lucky enough to own a 1925 Buffalo nickel that's in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be looking at a value that's staggering. Drumroll, please. A 1925 Buffalo nickel in top condition, with a rare error or mint flaw, could be worth an astonishing $196,000. Yes, you heard that right. A Buffalo nickel, a simple 5-cent coin, could be worth a jaw-dropping $196,000 in the right condition. Imagine that. A coin that might just be sitting in your collection could hold that much value. So, collectors, make sure you're checking your coin stash thoroughly. A 1925 Buffalo nickel in mint condition, or with a rare error, is one of those coins that could change your life financially. If you've enjoyed learning about this hidden gem and want to know more about other rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications. Who knows? Your next discovery might be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 2, we're about to uncover one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1923 Buffalo nickel. This humble 5-cent piece might just surprise you with how much it's worth in today's market. So grab your magnifying glass and pay close attention. This is one coin you won't want to overlook. Let's kick things off by talking about what makes the Buffalo nickel such a standout coin. Minted from 1913 until 1938, the Buffalo nickel features two iconic images. On the front, you'll see a Native American chief, and on the back, an American buffalo in all its glory. These images capture the essence of the American frontier, and when this coin was first introduced, it immediately became a symbol of strength, pride, and independence. The design was bold, the imagery was striking, and collectors couldn't get enough of it. But now, let's zoom in on the 1923 version of this coin. You might be thinking, why 1923? What makes this particular year so special? Well, there are a couple of reasons why the 1923 Buffalo nickel is so highly sought after, and one of the biggest factors is its rarity. While the Buffalo nickel was produced in large quantities, over time, many of these coins have either been worn down from years of circulation or simply lost to history. The result? A much smaller supply of 1923 Buffalo nickels, making them far rarer and more valuable today. But wait, there's more. What truly sets the 1923 Buffalo nickel apart from other years is the presence of certain unique characteristics and minting errors that make it even more valuable. Coins from this era were struck with such force that sometimes the design would get distorted or off-center. Imagine a coin with a slightly misaligned strike, or a faint, blurry buffalo that looks almost like a ghost of its original self. These minting errors create a level of uniqueness that collectors go wild for. The more rare and unusual the minting flaw, the more valuable the coin can become. Let's dive deeper into some of these potential errors. One of the most exciting is the weak strike variety. You'll notice that on some 1923 Buffalo nickels, the buffalo is partially faded or poorly defined, a result of insufficient pressure during the minting process. Some might call it a mistake, but to collectors, it's a treasure. These weak strikes often fetch higher prices due to their rarity, and if you find one, you've stumbled upon a truly exceptional coin. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. As with all rare coins, the condition plays a huge role in determining its value. A 1923 Buffalo nickel that has been well preserved and shows minimal wear will be worth significantly more than a coin that has been circulated for decades. So, if you happen to own one of these coins and it's in excellent condition, without too many scratches, dings, or discoloration, you're sitting on something quite valuable. A coin that's graded in uncirculated or mint state can fetch top dollar on the market, and when it comes to the 1923 Buffalo nickel, collectors will pay a premium for a flawless example. So, are you ready for the big reveal? How much could a 1923 Buffalo nickel be worth today? Well, if you're lucky enough to own one of these rare beauties in top condition, or better yet, one with a minting error or flaw that makes it stand out from the crowd, you could be looking at a staggering value. Hold your breath. A 1923 Buffalo nickel in excellent condition could be worth an incredible $206,000, yes, you heard that right. A simple 5-cent piece, minted over 100 years ago, could be worth $206,000 in the right condition. It's mind-blowing to think that a coin that once circulated among everyday people now holds such tremendous value. So, coin lovers, make sure you're checking your collections and your spare change. If you come across a 1923 Buffalo nickel in good condition, don't let it slip through your fingers. Top 3, we're about to talk about one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1937 Buffalo nickel. This little 5-cent piece has more than just historical significance, it has some serious value, and I'm here to explain why it might be worth far more than you think. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1937 Buffalo nickel. Let's start with a quick refresher on the Buffalo nickel itself. First minted in 1913, the Buffalo nickel, or the Indian head nickel as it's sometimes called, quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. On the obverse, you have the profile of a Native American chief, and on the reverse, a majestic buffalo. The coin's bold and artistic design captures the spirit of the American frontier, a time of strength, resilience, and the untamed wilderness. This coin wasn't just currency, it was a statement, and even today, it's a symbol of American pride. Now, let's fast forward to 1937. By this time, the Buffalo nickel was nearing the end of its run, as the U.S. Mint would soon introduce a new design in 1938. But the 1937 Buffalo nickel stands out for a few reasons, and it's one of the years that collectors keep a close eye on. One of the main reasons the 1937 Buffalo nickel is so sought after is its rarity. Like many coins from this era, the Buffalo nickel wasn't just used as a collector's item, it was in circulation, going from hand to hand, and being used for everyday transactions. Over time, most of these coins became worn down and damaged from being passed around. So, when you find a 1937 Buffalo nickel in excellent condition, it's a real gem, and collectors know it. The fact that this coin has survived the test of time in great shape makes it incredibly rare and valuable today, but it's not just the rarity that makes this coin stand out, it's the unique features that make it even more desirable to collectors. Minting errors, folks. If you've been following the world of coin collecting, you know that minting errors can significantly increase a coin's value, and the 1937 Buffalo nickel is no exception. Some of these coins were struck with imperfect designs, off-center strikes, or weaker impressions of the buffalo on the reverse. And guess what? These types of imperfections, which might seem like flaws to the untrained eye, are exactly what collectors are hunting for. One of the most famous error varieties of the 1937 Buffalo nickel is the three-legged buffalo error. In this unique variety, the buffalo on the reverse appears to be missing one of its legs. This happened due to a die malfunction during the minting process, and it's one of the most famous coin errors in U.S. history. Now, when you come across a 1937 Buffalo nickel with a three-legged buffalo, you're looking at something that can fetch a hefty price. In fact, these error coins are so rare that they can sometimes be worth tens of thousands of dollars more than their standard counterparts, but it's not just the error coins that attract attention. A 1937 Buffalo nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth a lot on its own. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp details and minimal wear, are always highly prized by collectors. If you're lucky enough to have a 1937 Buffalo nickel in mint condition, you're looking at a coin that can easily sell for far more than its face value. So, let's get to the big question: how much is a 1937 Buffalo nickel actually worth? Well, if you happen to have a 1937 Buffalo nickel in excellent condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error like the three-legged buffalo, you could be looking at an impressive value. Drumroll, please. A 1937 Buffalo nickel, in top condition or with a minting error, could be worth an astonishing $176,000. Yes, you heard that right, $176,000 for a single 5-cent piece. It's amazing to think that such a small coin, with such a simple design, could hold so much value. That's the magic of coin collecting, and it's what makes the 1937 Buffalo nickel one of the most exciting finds for any collector. So, coin lovers, check your collections carefully, and don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for those rare minting errors. Who knows? That old Buffalo nickel you've had stashed away could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 4, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1934 Buffalo nickel. This little 5-cent piece isn't just a relic from the past, it's a treasure with a rich story and, for the right collector, a significant value. So, grab your magnifying glass and get ready, because we're diving into the world of the 1934 Buffalo nickel, a coin that could be sitting in your collection, waiting to make you a small fortune. Let's start by setting the stage with a quick history lesson. The Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, was minted from 1913 to 1938 and quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. The front features a powerful image of a Native American chief, and the reverse depicts a majestic buffalo. These two symbols of American strength and spirit made this coin stand out from the rest, and even today, it remains a favorite among collectors. Now, let's fast forward to 1934. By this time, the Great Depression had already hit, and the country was facing significant economic challenges. Despite the tough times, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the Buffalo nickel, and the 1934 edition was one of the more widely circulated years. But here's the thing, the 1934 Buffalo nickel is not just another coin from the era. It's a rarity, and that rarity is what makes it so appealing to collectors. So, why exactly is the 1934 Buffalo nickel so valuable? The first factor is its scarcity. Like many coins from the early 20th century, most 1934 Buffalo nickels were used in everyday transactions and became worn down through constant circulation. As a result, finding one in good condition is becoming increasingly difficult. But even more important is the coin's condition. The 1934 Buffalo nickel, like other coins from this period, is more valuable when it's in excellent shape. The sharper the details, the higher the coin's value. Coins that have been well preserved over the years, without heavy wear or scratches, are rare and sought after by collectors who want a piece of history in its original form. But that's not all. What makes the 1934 Buffalo nickel even more interesting to collectors are the unique minting errors that some of these coins carry. Minting errors in coins can significantly increase their value, and the 1934 Buffalo nickel is no exception. Over the years, some of these nickels were struck off-center, causing part of the design to be missing or misaligned. Others have a weak strike, where the buffalo appears faint or incomplete due to insufficient pressure during the minting process. These imperfections may seem like flaws, but in the world of coin collecting, they make the coin more desirable. A minting error on a 1934 Buffalo nickel can make it a rare and unique piece, fetching a price far beyond its face value. One of the most sought-after error varieties is the double die variety. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be duplicated on the coin. If you happen to stumble upon a 1934 Buffalo nickel with this error, you could be looking at a coin that stands out from the rest, adding significant value to your collection. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of this coin. If you've been wondering just how much a 1934 Buffalo nickel could be worth, let me tell you, it's more than you might expect. A well-preserved 1934 Buffalo nickel or one with a rare minting error can fetch an impressive price. Are you ready for this? A 1934 Buffalo nickel in top condition, or with a unique minting error, could be worth an incredible $188,000. Yes, you heard that right, $188,000. Imagine holding a 5-cent coin that's worth more than most people's entire savings. The value of this coin is proof that rare finds can happen in the most unexpected places. So, coin collectors, this is your chance to go through your collections and look for that hidden gem. A 1934 Buffalo nickel in pristine condition or with a minting error could be worth far more than you think. Top 5, we're about to explore one of the most fascinating and sought-after coins in American history, the 1935 Buffalo nickel. This humble 5-cent piece might seem like just another coin at first glance, but trust me, it's far more valuable than you might think. From its striking design to its rarity and unique minting errors, the 1935 Buffalo nickel holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. So sit tight, because we're about to dive deep into why this coin could be worth a lot more than its face value. Let's start with the basics. The Buffalo nickel was first introduced in 1913, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. The design features a Native American chief on the front and a powerful image of a buffalo on the reverse. These two symbols represent the strength, spirit, and history of America, which is why the Buffalo nickel has remained so beloved among collectors. Now, let's focus on 1935. By this time, the Great Depression had left a lasting mark on the United States, and the 1935 Buffalo nickel was one of the coins that continued to circulate during this difficult period. But the 1935 Buffalo nickel stands out from other years because of its rarity and the way it was produced. While many coins from this era were heavily used and circulated, the 1935 Buffalo nickel is much harder to find in excellent condition. Coins that were in circulation during the Great Depression were often subject to wear and tear, which makes any 1935 Buffalo nickel in good condition a rare find, but rarity alone doesn't explain why this coin is so valuable. What really sets the 1935 Buffalo nickel apart from other coins is the unique errors and features that make it stand out. One of the most exciting things about coin collecting is the hunt for minting errors, those little imperfections that can make a coin even more special and valuable. And when it comes to the 1935 Buffalo nickel, there are a few key errors that can significantly increase its worth. For example, some 1935 Buffalo nickels were struck off-center, meaning the design didn't align properly during the minting process. This gives the coin an unusual, misaligned appearance, making it a unique collector's item. These off-center strikes are highly prized by collectors who want a coin that stands out from the rest. Another common error in the 1935 Buffalo nickel is the weak strike. This happens when the die used to strike the coin doesn't apply enough pressure, leaving the design faint or incomplete. In the case of the Buffalo nickel, this means the buffalo on the reverse might appear blurry or partially erased. While it may look like a flaw, collectors love these weak strikes because they're rare, and they often add a level of character to the coin. A weak strike on a 1935 Buffalo nickel can drastically increase its value. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. One of the most exciting errors for collectors is the three-legged buffalo variety. Although this error didn't occur as frequently in 1935 as it did in some other years, it's still possible to find buffalo nickels from 1935 with this rare feature. The three-legged buffalo occurs when one of the buffalo's legs is missing due to a die error, making it an incredibly unique and valuable find for any collector lucky enough to stumble upon one. All these factors, the rarity, the unique minting errors, and the condition of the coin, make the 1935 Buffalo nickel highly desirable for collectors. But here's the big question: how much is it worth? Well, if you've got a 1935 Buffalo nickel in excellent condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error like an off-center strike, weak strike, or the coveted three-legged buffalo, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Are you ready for the reveal? A 1935 Buffalo nickel, in top condition or with a rare minting error, could be worth an astonishing $183,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $183,000. That's right, a single 5-cent coin could be worth more than most people's homes. It's incredible to think that a coin, which once circulated in everyday transactions, could now hold such tremendous value. Top 6 and last unique coin, we're talking about one of the most iconic and coveted coins in American history, the 1936 Buffalo nickel. This seemingly humble 5-cent coin holds far more significance than its small size would suggest. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting out, you'll definitely want to hear about the incredible value and history behind this little gem. Let's jump in and discover why the 1936 Buffalo nickel could be worth much more than you think. The Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, has captured the imaginations of collectors for over a century. First minted in 1913, this coin features two powerful symbols. On the obverse, we see the profile of a Native American chief, and on the reverse, a majestic buffalo, an animal that embodies the spirit of the American West. These elements made the Buffalo nickel stand out from other coins, earning it a place in the hearts of collectors from all walks of life. Now, let's focus on the 1936 Buffalo nickel. By this time, the coin had already been in circulation for over 2 decades, and it was still being used by everyday Americans. But the 1936 edition of the Buffalo nickel stands out for a few key reasons, primarily its rarity and the condition of the coins that were minted that year. You see, coins from this era were widely circulated and used in daily transactions, which meant that many of them became worn down and damaged over time. However, finding a 1936 Buffalo nickel in great condition is a rare treat. The wear and tear from years of use make high-quality examples increasingly difficult to come by. A well-preserved 1936 Buffalo nickel, especially one with sharp, clear details, is highly desirable to collectors and can fetch a premium price on the market. But what makes this coin even more exciting to collectors are the unique errors and features that certain 1936 Buffalo nickels possess. Minting errors in coins are one of the most sought-after aspects for collectors. These little imperfections, whether caused by a malfunctioning die or a mistake in the minting process, can make a coin even more valuable. And the 1936 Buffalo nickel is no exception. One of the most famous errors you'll find on some 1936 Buffalo nickels is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process, creating a doubled image of the design. For a 1936 Buffalo nickel, this could mean a doubled buffalo or even a duplicated Native American head. It might seem like a small flaw, but in the world of coin collecting, it's a major find and significantly boosts the coin's value. Another error that makes the 1936 Buffalo nickel particularly special is the weak strike variety. This occurs when the minting process doesn't apply enough pressure to the coin, leaving the design faint or incomplete. For the 1936 Buffalo nickel, this typically means that the buffalo on the reverse could appear blurry or unclear. While this may look like a defect, collectors are drawn to these weak strikes because of their rarity and unique character. Of course, there's also the possibility of the 1936 Buffalo nickel being struck off-center. This means that the coin wasn't aligned properly during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or misaligned. These off-center strikes are rare and highly desirable to collectors looking for something unique. Now, here's the big question: how much could a 1936 Buffalo nickel be worth? Well, the value of this coin depends on its condition, rarity, and any minting errors it may possess. If you happen to have a 1936 Buffalo nickel in exceptional shape, or one with a unique error like a double die or a weak strike, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Are you ready for the price reveal? A 1936 Buffalo nickel in top condition or with a rare minting error could be worth an incredible $180,000. Yes, you heard that right, $180,000. It's incredible to think that a 5-cent coin, originally minted as everyday currency, could now be worth such a massive sum. That's the beauty of coin collecting. The value of these historical pieces can skyrocket over time, and finding a rare, well-preserved example can truly change the game for collectors. So, if you have any Buffalo nickels in your collection, especially from the 1930s, it's time to take a closer look. Who knows? That old coin you've kept in your collection for years could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Make sure to check for minting errors, wear, and overall condition, because a pristine 1936 Buffalo nickel could be your ticket to a major windfall. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!